talking. So, hi, my name is Kristen Wiley, founder of Statusphere, and we help brands scale their micro-influencer marketing efforts. Now, before I get too far into it, I want to talk more about the influencer marketing industry as a whole. And that's because it's slated to become a $5 to $10 billion industry over the next 5 years. And it's with good reason. I mean, look at this statistic. 92% of people trust recommendations from individuals, even if they don't know them, over brands. So think about the last time you were in Publix and you were trying to buy bread, which I was doing the other day, and there's like a zillion types of bread, which is already crazy, and you're like, which one should I buy? And some lady walks over to you and she's like, you should get that one. You're like, oh, it was good? And she's like, yeah. There's a high probability I'm gonna buy that one, even though I have no idea her credibility or who she is. That's the influencer marketing that we're talking about. Unfortunately, when people think of influencer marketing, they think of our friend here, Kim Kardashian, and other influencers that have millions upon millions of followers. And I mean, love her, hate her, she makes a lot of money for one tweet, and unfortunately is very unattainable for most brands. Now, there's these other influencers that are all around you, these micro-influencers, on the other hand, like Grace from the gym, who posts really cute outfit photos, and I bought a pair of shoes last week because she posted about them. Or Grace from work, and you end up making real purchasing decisions based on these influencers, not based on the likes of Kim Kardashian. And it's not just me saying that. These micro-influencers actually have 4 times the engagement rate when you compare them to their celebrity counterparts. So just imagine if you can wrangle up a bunch of them, not only are they cheaper, but you're getting all these hundreds of people posting about them. The hard part is wrangling them up, and that's what we do very well. So that's why we started Statusphere. So how does it work? Influencers apply through our platform. We have an algorithm that vets them based on criteria such as engagement. We only accept 10% of influencers who apply. Once they apply, they fill out a little bit about themselves, and we match them each month with products that they like and dislike. So if you're vegan, we won't show you any products that aren't vegan. And they'll pick those products, and instead of exchange for money, they're doing it in exchange for agreeing to post about them on social media. So they pick which products they want in their box. Each one's custom. We box it up, and we ship it to them. And I'll get more into how the box plays into our awesome margins in a second. But then, after we ship it to them, they get the products, they post about them, and we provide a report to the brands. So it's super simple. So brands are already trying to reach these micro-influencers. I know that because I used to be one of them. I worked at an agency, and that was my job. And what we used to do is either spend hours and hours internally messaging them, or purchase super expensive influencer management tools, and you still needed someone like me to manage them. With Statusphere, you have no platform access fee, you don't need an additional employee like me to manage it, and we have superior data integrity because we're not buying it from a third-party source. They're actually giving it to us. So how do we make money? We have 2 options. We have a flat rate cost per influencer model, which is how we started, where a brand can come to us and say, I want a package of 50 or 100 influencers, and we can activate them in 30 days. But then we moved to our subscription model because brands kept coming back. So now they can sign up for a 15 influencer a month plan all the way up to 100 influencers. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about our margins. So here's a typical box with 3 real brands that we've worked with. So influencer claims these 3 products. Each one of these brands paid us $100 per influencer, which is our average right now, but we're still testing price points. And we package it up. So we made $300 off that box. Our hard costs are under $30, giving us an awesome 90% gross margin. So to show you the scalability of this, just to hit 300 boxes per month, we'll hit a 1 million run rate, and we're still testing our $100 model. We actually just sold one today at $200 an influencer, and they didn't even blink at it, so we know we're charging too little. And by the way, we shipped 150 boxes this month alone, and we only have 2 full-time employees. Additional revenue streams we want to explore include product sampling and selling additional photography rights. And then as far as traction goes, so we launched about a year and 2 months ago, and we've had over 3,000 influencers that have applied to the platform. And I'm actually proud to say we submitted this deck on Monday. We closed 3 more clients. So we're at 33 paying brands in a variety of industries, from tech to books to beauty, you name it. We actually had this watch that I'm wearing. It's Misfit. They're owned by Fossil. They did 100 units this month in our boxes. We also have some really notable brands in the pipeline, such as Ad Council. They're the largest nonprofit ad agency in the world. We're speaking with them on running some campaigns. We have Homedics. They're looking to do a really big rollout of new beauty product line soon, and they want to activate our influencers. And we're also speaking with TSG Consumer, who's one of the largest consumer packaged goods investors. So they invest in like women's area of consumer packaged goods, and they want to test us out with some of their portfolio clients. So revenue to date with our new 3 closed clients, we're excited to say we hit over 100,000 in revenue. We're at 102. We've also caught the attention of a few notable people, such as this woman, Sinead Noranius, and she actually built an influencer marketing platform, sold it successfully. She didn't like where the new company was taking it, and she actually found our platform, loved it so much, she called it the Influencer Marketing 2.0, and she sends us leads now, and she's on our advisory board. And then you might also recognize Jason Calacanis. We're really excited to announce that he officially invested in our company, and we're a part of his accelerator right now in San Francisco. Thank you. And you might notice that he's invested in some companies that are notable, such as Uber, Cozy, Tumblr, you know, some notable names. We have a great leadership team, very well-rounded. As far as our organization, we're looking to really grow this over the next few months. And I just wanted to mention also that I was on the influencer side as well, which I think adds a very unique perspective. And we really care about our influencers, and we call it an influencer-first model. And I think that gives us another unique selling point. So next steps. We're looking to really automate and scale this thing. And here's our projections for the next 5 years. So this is with funding, and you can see that it's very doable. With 2018, if we hit our goal in funding, we want to hit 80 paying brands, and we're already averaging 4 per month, and we'd have to hit 6 per month for that. And technology in the pipeline, we're looking to add gamification, and that's because the more products the influencers claim, the more money we make, so we want to gamify that process. Machine learning to better match brands. We get great data. We can almost very accurately tell you which influencers are going to perform best for which product because we know the history of other products that they've posted about, which I think we can really optimize on that. And then we want to automate our proprietary algorithm. Right now it still has some semi-automated pieces, but we would like to fully automate that. And then the last thing is launching a self-serve platform so that the brands can easily place orders. Think about, you place an ad with Google or so. So thank you for your time, and I would welcome any questions.
So how do you sort your influencers now? I mean, in terms of followers and value that they create, how do you select those today?
So the question is how do we select the influencers in terms of followers? So our criteria covers many aspects, but most of our influencers fall between the 5,000 to 25,000 follower range. But more importantly, we look at their engagement rates. We also look at how often that they post, because that's important, and also the quality of their images that they produce.
But you don't pay them. You just provide
Right now,
them.
we do not pay them, which is in the market, we wanted to test it, and we interviewed a lot of influencers as we were building this model. But we actually bring enough value in the fact that they're getting new products to review each month that they typically do charge, but through our service, they like it because it's like.
So, but from a scaling perspective, how are you going to handle that?
What do you mean from the shipping?
No. As you get bigger, you got more products. You're going to have to start paying them at some point, right?
Well, what's really interesting is we actually have influencers that started with us when they had 25,000 followers. Oh, the question was, how are we going to scale that to get more influencers, or they're going to want to pay us? So what's interesting is we've had some influencers who started out with 25,000 followers. I can think of one right now. She's actually just hit 100,000. She went really big. She still claims our products, and I know she commands at least 500 a post, which has been very fascinating because we build this very relationship-driven approach with them where they almost feel like, oh my gosh, you were with me when I was little. And I don't know, it's been a very interesting process. Also, there's always more influencers that keep applying. What's great is they all spread it. Every time they post about our box, we get an influx of applications.
You don't control what they say.
No. Influencer marketing, you cannot control what they say, so they write whatever they would like about the product.
And I guess for them a little bit, they're getting a cool little toolbox of new cool stuff all the time. So that's why it's free so far. like the presentation, love the space, you know, love your energy, love the fact that you have a background on the other side as well. But the key slide that I felt like was missing, you talked about with capital, so it's a two-part question. You didn't tell me how much capital, right? What valuation, because you're looking to raise $1 million, it's different than if you're raising 100 million.
Yes.
But the key slide is customers are paying you $100 per influencer right now. What emerging case study do you have on the value you actually have brought to your customer?
Oh, no, that's great.
Right, for the dollars that they're paying you.
Yes, that's great feedback. So one of the pieces that probably the biggest value we bring them is actually in the content itself, which is very fascinating to a lot of people. So Misfit, for example, they said that it was gravy on top that all of the influencers are posting. They're loving the content because it's so hard to get new content to post weekly, daily for these brands, that if we get 30 influencers posting a month, they now have 30 pieces of content they can repost, and to that's worth it to them.
They're not even looking for a particular ROI.
I would say 50% of our brands, especially the larger ones, are really thrilled with the content level. The other 50% are looking at ROI as well, and they know it's part of a multi-channel approach. So it's, you know, it takes 7 touches to get someone to convert into a sale. So they do put us as that category as well.
So, Kristen, I mean, there's a lot of people doing this, all right, however you want to do it. What makes you guys different? What's going to give you the opportunity to scale, to make it a much larger business? I realize you're not necessarily paying your bloggers and so forth, but what's the real intrinsic difference that's going to make large brands come to you as opposed to others?
Yeah, you're correct. There are a lot of platforms out there, and that's exactly what they are, is platforms. So when I was on the brand side, I used a ton of them. Some of them you might even know locally. I've used IZEA. I've used different platforms. Most of them start at $2,000 a month just to access the platform fee, and then you have to sort through them, and honestly, the sorting, depending on how skilled the person sorting is, can be very challenging. So I think that if you go to any of those platforms and you wanted to activate the influencers we activate in the time we do, good luck. But I think that we do it much better and more efficient in terms of that piece.
You bring up IZEA, which has a great revenue stream, but is not an investable product.
Correct.
Okay? It's a company that can't make money. And so I get it. But give me somebody that's, I mean, don't use them as an example.
That's why I don't want to use them as an example. If you look at all their stuff is public, so you can see exactly where they're making their money off of, and only 10% is off their platform. I think that they built it without actually asking what the customer wanted. What they're good at is at the celebrity space, and their minimum campaigns start at $25,000, which we used to look into as a brand. It leaves a lot of people out, you know, that can't afford that. So we're not in that space. Someone I like to compare ourselves, oddly enough, to is similar to Chegg. Chegg is a great company because they actually get a box into the hands of certain consumers, and they've made their entire model off of marketers being able to tap into different demographics. And we've kind of found that we're falling more into that category.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and the capital investment question?
Yeah, we're looking to raise 1.1 million.
At what valuation?
We're in discussions, so if you'd like to talk after.
Okay.
Good answer.
Christian, so this is clearly working really well for some of the smaller brands, because, you know, in terms of what other choices they have, you're like clearly hands down the best choice out there. What happens when you start going after the bigger brands? You know?
Yeah, so one of our largest brands, not only Misfit, but we work with Freeman Beauty. They're an international brand, and they've come back and already done 4 campaigns with us and spent $32,000 with us last year alone. And they've loved our entire platform, and they've used a lot of the other platforms with it. And they are a larger brand. They love it because they don't have to deal with anything. It's kind of like they say exactly what to do and we just handle it for them. It's very like they just come back to us and we're like, we want another 50 influencers, and they trust us with it. And I think that that's a huge market that we can still tap into, are these larger brands that they don't have a department for influencer marketing, because you almost need a department to do it properly. So they're looking for more options and testing them out. So we're getting brands like Fossil, and we're getting brands like Freeman Beauty reaching out to us to test because they haven't found what they liked. And now we're getting them coming back, which I think is a great sign.
So what's that island that Wonder Woman is from again? Do you remember?
What?
The island that what's it called? Themyscira, right? This creative space that you guys are in, love it. But one of my challenges is, suppose you got whisked off to Themyscira, right? It seems as if it's very dependent on your knowledge. How have you currently, and how do you plan to address that if something were to happen to you?
Yeah, so we've set, like our algorithm, for example, for finding influencers, we've defined it. So we do have a team of interns that work with us. We have 5 interns. One of them from Rollins, he might be here. But we've defined it in a way where anyone can actually take our algorithm and do it. And that's why we know we can automate this process, because some pieces are semi-automated. I think it's really important to automate the pieces, and I will say that we're at that point now where we've expanded the team. We have 2 full-time, 3 part-time, and I believe that we've been able to pass along the knowledge enough. I can tell you, I've been flying back and forth to San Francisco, and we've handled everything, and nothing has crashed and burned.
It's not just dependent on,
It's not just dependent
your
on me.
unique instinct and the fact that you've
I think
been
that's
on the
how it
other
started,
side before,
but I think we've
evolved past
evolved
it.
past
Okay,
that.
great, perfect.
All right. Thanks
Thank you.
so much, Kristen.